Hello, Algebra 1 students. Here we are in Unit 5, Tier 2, Lesson 2, Graphing Point Slope Form. Check off your booklet, please. Here we are in Lesson 2 of Tier 2, Graphing a Point Slope Form. We have to recall that our point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So we come down here and we're asked, given the linear function in point slope form of y minus 1 equals 1/2 times the quantity x plus 3, create a graph at the right. So that's our function that we got to graph. Well, let's break this out. We know that the y value of our point is going to come from right here. So that means our y value is right here. And since this is a negative, then we know that this should be negative here, and it is. So I know that the y value of my point is just 1. Now I need to figure out what my x value is. So I come up here and I notice that my x1 goes right here, and that it should be subtraction. So if I come down here, here's my x1 value. However, I notice that I have a plus. For that to become a plus, that means my x value had to be negative when it got inputted into the formula. So my x value of that point is -3. Now I have a point that I can graph. And then also my m value right here, or slope, is right here at 1/2. And remember, we graph slope with rise over run. So let's go to the graph. The first thing I want to do is I want to plot my -3, 1. So I'm going to go back 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1. So right there is my point. Now I got to use my rise over run, and my slope is 1/2. So I'm going to rise 1, and it's positive, so I'm going to go up. If it was a -1, I'd go down. And I'm going to run 2. If it's positive, so I'm going to go right. If it was negative, I'd go left. So I had to come back to my point, and I rise 1. There's my rise, and then I run 2. 1, 2. So my new point is right there. So now I have my 2 points of my line, and I can draw my line. Now that we have our line drawn, we can describe our end behavior of our linear function. Blast from the past of the blue booklet. And remember, we're saying as x approaches infinity, we're talking about the right side of the graph, because this is the infinity part on the x. Right? And then this is the negative infinity side of the x. As it's going right, is the arrow pointing up for positive infinity of y, or down? Well, in this case, our arrow is pointing up. So as it's approaching infinity of x's, it's also approaching infinity of y. Now we want to go look at the other side, this side of the graph. It's definitely going, the arrow is definitely pointing to the negative infinity of the x, and then it's also pointing down toward the negative infinity of the y. So how we would say that mathematically is as x approaches negative infinity, right here, it's going left. It's also going down, so it's approaching y's negative infinity. Good luck on your practice sets.